Check out how dinky this little here package is. This comes from One Wind Outdoors, as you can tell. Super small but mighty. Let's find out. So, quite obviously it's raining, and so as always the first port of call is to make shelter. Unraveling the shelter here, we're then going to be pegging it out. It's relatively easy to pitch. It can be pitched using a trekking pole or a stick, whichever you have at hand. I opted for the trekking pole. 5 pegs to 8 tie-off points. Now my maths isn't that good, but I don't believe I have enough pegs. It is pitched, but I can never understand the logic with giving you less pegs than there is tie-off points. Just give me 8 pegs. Because what's going to happen is this is going to fill up with water and potentially flood through the fabric, whereas if I had another peg, I could pull that taut, water runs off. The same this side, obviously water puddling. If we had an additional peg, we could pull that out, the water will flood off. I may just make a couple, 2 or 3 pegs just to fix this, but I don't want to, but might have to. Again, got to keep those essential items dry. But honestly, I feel like there's more that could be done here. For example, this little flap, right? All you need is a couple more cords. You could extend that flap so it's not just coming down and water's just dripping off. Extend that, gives us just that tad more space. Maybe I'm being finicky, I don't know. Additionally, I feel like there could be a little pocket just here to house the trekking pole. Again, maybe I'm just being finicky. There's also obviously not an awful lot of room under here. I don't know, are you really gonna take this over a tarp with all the configurations you can have with a tarp and only one configuration with this? Are you really gonna take this over a tarp? Not quite sure what the market is for this. So you can get another one of these and with the zip here attach it to make a little teepee shelter. And they say it's a group shelter, but look, that's going to be 2 people. 2 people in, it's not a group. And therein lies another problem if you attach another shelter to this, is that there's no ventilation. That condensation is just going to build up and you're going to get dripped on anyway. Not quite getting it. So let's talk specs and features. The material is developed from a 1.1 ounce ripstop fabric and consists of a 3000mm hydrostatic head. It is lightweight at only 300 grams for the lack of an additional 3 pegs. So I tested another shelter similar to this one, but from one Tigris, the Tensformer. But the Tensformer was multi-purpose in the fact that it was a poncho and a shelter. But not really, because it leaked. The Tensformer, like this shelter, could be joined together, but it had the ventilation with the armholes. But again, it leaked. We're going to see if this one will. We have rain for the duration of the day, the evening, and the morning. And so I will see you in the next 24 hours. Tis the following day back in the woodlands and it's only just stopped raining. And I am back at the shelter. Surprise, surprise, it's leaked. Now, to be honest with you guys, this was supposed to be an overnight, but I couldn't fathom being tucked away under that shelter all night. A shelter I can't even sit up under or move around under. But yeah, I did it under an emergency poncho shelter, but that was to showcase an emergency poncho shelter. This is not an emergency shelter. I don't know what it is, but I knew I wasn't going to have a comfortable night under there. The difference between this shelter and the Tenseformer is I could sit up comfortably under the Tenseformer. Had I had that luxury with this shelter, I would have most probably stayed out and got wet. The thing the Tenseformer and this shelter have in common is they both leaked. The reality being, what tends to happen is companies will often prey on smaller YouTubers like ourselves because they know these channels will often compromise in getting a free product in exchange for a good review. Not here, son. But there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are on this shelter, and would you really take something like this over a tarp?